The second bastard we'll be discussing is David Gross. I almost said Peter, but Peter's not who I'm talking about. It's David. David Gross was the head of Alma Heights Christian Academy, and his family, the Gross family, was one of the, I don't know, how do I put this? Alma Heights royalty, one of the original families. There were several families that lived at the school. And I only know this because they bragged about it, but kind of the trade-off was like they got to go to school for free. I don't know what the whole agreement was, but David Gross was one of those families that lived at the school, that had generations of involvement, and then they were raising the oldest kid to like kind of take on and continue in the family's legacy of these white supremacist institutions that rob kids of their innocence. So my interactions with David Gross, I probably had 2 or 3 different interactions with him. And this was because most of my disciplinary issues were with David Welling, who was the principal. But I don't honestly remember the circumstances why I was called into his office. But David Gross, I remember something, he was accusing me of like being a punk, and I forgot what exactly he said, but I responded. I'll be completely honest. I clapped right back at him. I return energy. And I think that it's so interesting that people assume that because there's an age difference and you're sitting there disrespecting me, talking to me any type of way, you really think that I'm not going to talk back to you the exact same way that you're talking to me. Let's also keep in mind, my parents are paying thousands of dollars for me to attend this school. So where the fuck do you get off talking to me the way you do? So again, I don't remember the circumstances, but he called me a punk. Said something about I honestly don't remember, but I responded with, I don't really care. And I think it was something about his opinion. I think that's what I said, like, I don't really care what you think about me. This guy became enraged. He hopped out of his seat, started swinging his arms around and said, "You better care." His face got so red, arms waving like a chimpanzee out the zoo. I thought he was going to hit me. I literally thought this bastard was going to put hands on me. That came a little bit, not him, a different person put hands on me. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I'll never remember walking back to class. I was like, again, in the 5th fucking grade. I was all of like 11 or 12. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck did I do to get that chimpanzee so upset? Like, why? I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Why? How did he lose his temper? What the fuck did I say? And yeah. So that's what I want to share about David Gross. So David Gross, well, this Alma Heights Christian Academy, by the way, they had to change their name. I think it's called Pac Bay, something involving Bay, because lo and behold, during Black Lives Matter, people discovered Google, and they realized that Alma Birdwell White was a white supremacist who literally did cross burnings for the KKK on the Alma Heights campus. And she published like 3 different books for the KKK, hated minorities, hated Jewish people, and thought that white people were superior to any others, and thought that that was biblically ordained. That's who they literally named the school after, folks. So in 2020, when people discovered Google and they realized, oh my God, wait a minute, you mean this racist little town by the sea named Pacifica has a super racist white supremacist school? As a matter of fact, Alma Heights was started as a segregation academy. It was started as one of those schools to bypass Brown versus Board of Education because, heaven forbid, now schools are integrated. No, I want to remain segregated, so you went to a segregation academy, and that's how Alma Heights began. So during Black Lives Matter during 2020, they tried to, because again, private school, or this school, religious schools have just really, really been declining. because you don't need to be certified as a teacher. You don't have to know your ass from 6 bits. I don't even think you need to have ever stepped foot on a college campus to become a teacher at one of these institutions. So, anyway, during Black Lives Matter 2020, they bring in a new head. They try to diversify the school. And this Asian man, he said, I, again, did a simple fucking Google search and said, I can't be a part of this. If you want me to join, you're going to have to change the name of the school. I could have the story a little bit wrong, but from what I studied, and again, it's not like I really care. I just want to not say anything that's not true. I don't want to slander anybody unnecessarily. I'm not here to say anything untrue. I'm purely here to speak my truth because I don't want any of these things happening to other people. And some of these things are just really crazy. Like, really? It wasn't known that the literal ground of this place is just seeped in KKK white supremacy energy? And that didn't become a problem until 2020? That's pretty crazy. So anyway, this is part of the legacy of the Gross family. I'll just leave it at that because I don't know how involved the other families were. Again, I don't really care. I just feel very lucky to have gotten the fuck out of this place and to still be able to speak about it. So in the next video, I'm going to tell you about the third and final bastard, Blake.